Well, lots happened since our last show, and we have it all covered coming up right here on Nat Scraps on the Prime Sports Radio Network. It's September the 12th, 2017. I'm your host, Greg DePalma, and yes, a lot's happened since our last show, and nothing actually happened that was more important than what took place just, about 24 hours ago. And we've been waiting for this since opening day, even though this is just, of course, as we've mentioned many times, just one step. And I don't know why this isn't playing on MLB.com. Volume's up, Ken.
Test. Hey.
No, I don't even have to. Volume's up. It's not muted. And nothing's coming over.
We're not recording.
No, we are recording. No, I'm saying I have everything. I've got this video set up. And this stupid MLB thing, even though it's not muted. Let me change the page. And it'll set it up nicely. And MLB.com had to screw it all up. And then you got to wait for a 15-second ad, which nobody cares about. When are they going to get rid of those ads in these videos? Do they really think anybody cares about this stuff?
It's becoming more and more frustrating. I'll tell you that. I understand the concept, and when it first started happening, it was annoying, and it wasn't 100% of the videos you clicked on. But now it's 99% of the videos you want to watch. You have to watch something. The skip ad thing is great, where you only have to watch 5 seconds, but now that's becoming a unicorn in and of itself. You got to watch 15. You know the worst part is, Greg, is if you stay on a site like ESPN.com or some major site like that, and you watch a video, and you suck it up to watch a Bryce Harper bomb highlight, that you watch 37 seconds of video, half of which is a commercial. You scroll a little bit further down, and they want to show you this that Daniel Murphy did. It's a 20-second clip. You got to watch another freaking commercial.
Here we go.
We're going to win the freaking National League East and go do what we want to do with our dreams. And because of that, we did it. We won. Here we are. So here we go, boys. Welcome to the postseason.
That's awesome.
A little late, but effective. Anyway, so yeah, that's just one step because we've really been, we know how good this team is. We know it's not about winning the NL East. It's about the postseason. And you know what? The closer we get, because we're only a couple weeks away, and everybody, and I know that we're all waiting to find out about Bryce. We've talked about this before, and nothing has changed my mind that Bryce Harper will be in the lineup in the first game in the postseason. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about any of these reports. I don't care. He's not running any of that stuff. I mean, give me another week or two, and maybe I'll change my mind. But nothing.
That'll probably be the first game you see him in.
Oh, sure, it could be. Nothing is going to change because and that's probably fine.
Dusty said, I don't know, yesterday or today, sometime, and he said made a comment like, maybe that 5 days is exists for a reason. Something along those lines, indicating the 5-day layoff between the last game of the season and the first game of the playoffs. To me, that sounds like he's already at least considering lining Bryce up in game one without having played him a single play. Coming down the stretch, 21 games, including tonight, starting off with Atlanta, and a lot of slugs. We got a series with the Dodgers. We close out with the Pirates, but 21 games. We got to go 12-9 to get to 100. That's been a big thing for me. I think it's within reach. It's a perfectly realistic end.
12-9. That's it.
That's all you got to do. Right, we're 88. We got 88 wins right now, right?
Then 12-9. That's fine. I'm just saying that's it. How do we not? Yeah, how do we not get 100? And you know what though? If you think about it, because we talked about this 100, yeah, that's asking a lot, but if any team that the Nats have is going to reach 100, it's this team, because this is just without a question. It's not even close. This is the best team that they've ever had. And I know people are, getting back to the Bryce Harper thing, because, look, no question, we really would like and love to have Bryce Harper in the lineup. But I'll say this: I think the Nats have a better chance to win the World Series without Bryce Harper than the Indians do without Andrew Miller.
Okay. And we have a fact checker. 19 games, I believe, so 12-7.
That's okay. That's fine.
Still.
That's all right. But the most important thing, though, is not 100. It's being, 4 back of the Dodgers and playing them 3 times this weekend. If it wasn't for the fact that we were in this race for number 1 now, wouldn't it be ironic that we're about to play the Dodgers now of all times, even though we played them? It's interesting that we've played them like in this sandwich situation. When we played them and beat them in LA, they weren't this hot, great team. They were just another good team. We were good. They were good. Then they got tremendously hot after they played us. And now they're tremendously cold and they're about to play us again. So we just haven't really faced this team that everybody fell in love with for 2 months in the summer. I mean, that's that team we just never faced. So, and we've talked about them all season long as far as that's ridiculous. They're not that good. Whatever. Let them be the team that everybody's picking, because there's no way that team is that good. And here you go. This is proof. They were never that good.
They got out there. First of all, everyone, back to a month ago, and people were comparing them to like the 27 Yankees and all these statistical whatever. They charged into the breach ahead of the Nationals, took all the bullets for the last few months. They're not even the hottest team this season. I mean, the Indians are on the cusp of greatness in terms of hotness.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dodgers story has evaporated faster than it's come down to the ground.
It's historic.
And when we get them, I absolutely think we need to be going for the number 1 seed. I don't care who we play in the first round. The Nationals. This is we can't get hot going into the playoffs with the Braves and the Mets and the Phillies down the stretch. We have to have a goal. We have to be focused on something. We have to start acting like it's the playoffs sooner, and we get that chance. And especially when you got Strasburg and Gio in that series, they'll miss Scherzer, but they'll still get Strauss and Gio. Got to take 2 out of 3 there.
Yeah, I think it definitely can. That'll help, no question. They've played the Cubs well, and so far they're playing the Dodgers well, and those are really the only teams that matter right now in the postseason. Still don't really care about Arizona. It's a nice story. They're a good team, but we're better. So I'm not even worried about Arizona, nor should we be worried, especially since Arizona is going to wind up playing the Dodgers anyway if Arizona wins. So if we played Arizona in the NLCS, well, good. Okay. That's still no problem. Facing Fernando Rodney trying to close out games. Trust me, if we were to lose to Fernando Rodney closing out games against us, I think I'd be done watching baseball for like a decade. So I don't think we have to worry about any of that. And right now, it's just hopefully get Harper back. Try to make sure, because really at this point, I mean, besides Harper, like, what is the latest on any of the other injuries? Guys that have been out, the Glovers, who else is out that we may or may not get back? What's the latest on the injury situation? Because well, first let's start with Glover. What have you heard?
I haven't heard anything for a week. I heard he was going for a second opinion.
I mean, he's not even rehabbing yet?
Yeah, I mean, his status. I mean,
if he's not rehabbing yet, he's not pitching. He's done.
Yeah, I don't think we can meaningfully count on him.
Okay, so he's done. Okay, so forget about Cota then. What about
also,
Stephen
Adam
Drew?
Eaton won't be coming back.
Well, that's
let's see.
We know that. What about Stephen Drew?
Let's see here. I got no update. The last thing I heard about him was that he was ready to go when they wanted to play him.
Okay.
I'll get a better update than that for you before the end of the show. But my understanding was he was just kind of staying warm.
let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, I you know what? I don't know. It's going to be tricky because I would have to believe by this point, since William Defoe has played so well for the second half, and he's younger and can play multiple spots, that I don't think that they can be going, okay, whenever you're ready, Steven, you're in the lineup in the postseason. They can't do that. You know, they got to say, okay, you come back now, play for the next 2 weeks. We'll see how you're going, and if you're doing well and you're out playing Defoe, then you'll play over him. But I wouldn't play him just to play over him now.
It looks like Drew they just made the call. He's done for the season. They're thinking he has an old injury that he may need surgery for. They weren't sure if he's talking about the abdominal strain issue or not, but his return is now officially not happening. And then as far as Cody Glover is concerned, there is an update.
Yeah, he's
it's
done.
Still about a week old, but it's just that he's going to get a second opinion for his back and shoulder issues.
He's done. And then Brian Goodwin's done too, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything good about him coming back sooner at
so
all.
Everybody's done. Everybody's done. Nobody's coming back except Harper. Harper is the only player that will be on our roster, whether it's the bench, the bullpen, the starters. He's the only guy that we're waiting for. Correct?
I think that's correct.
Okay. So that's good. Less to worry about. Just one guy, even though it's a big guy, but one guy. Because you take a look at Turner. He's been back a short while, and he's already hitting. I mean, it didn't take him long.
Yep.
What, 49 at bats, something like that, and he's already batting like the old days. Matter of fact, he's doing. I mean, he got up to a slow start this season, so he looks like the player that we had last year, which is great. So
he's still not the guy that he was like the day that he got hurt. But he's on his way to getting back to that. When he was single-handedly,
he was real hot there for a week or two.
But
he's got 2 more weeks to do it, and he'll be fine.
Yep.
So we have no worries there. Worth, he's you don't know what to go, because Worth's injury has kind of taken his whole season at a in a weird way, because he's a guy that goes through spells. So I don't know what, so he's in a bad spell now, and I don't know. I tend to think, though, that will go away once the postseason starts. Even if he went like 1 for 80 going into the postseason, I don't think we'd have much to worry about with Worth when the postseason comes around.
No, and I think if you really want to kind of read into anything regarding Worth, they're desperate search for extra outfielders or trying to figure out who's going to be, the guy that they bring to the playoffs to account for what they won't talk about with Worth.
What do you mean?
He's not looking good. He's not looking.
Oh,
like,
yeah, but Worth starts. Yeah, but why? Is there an injury situation?
No, I just don't think he's 100%. I mean, I think earlier this afternoon they said he was in the batting cage, and that it wasn't a good experience. He had a little unpleasantness in his shoulder. So he's just, I'm not going to say he's breaking down, but he's just not 100%. He's an older guy. It's late in the season, even though he hasn't played a ton.
He'll be fine.
And that's why Victor Robles is all of a sudden, now it's still a long shot, but it's a hell of a less of a long shot than it was when we talked about earlier in the season about his prospects of being a meaningful contributor to this team down the stretch. It remains to be seen, and we haven't seen it.
Well, that's because we didn't really think that our bench was going to be this good, even though Goodwin is out now. So that is an open spot. But we did replace Goodwin in a way with Kendrick, who we didn't have either when we were talking about this. Yeah. I still think that, look, the only way a guy like that even gets considered is if Worth winds up being off the roster and Harper's off the roster. That's it. Other than that, because look, it's going to take a broken something to have a Worth not on the roster. And here's why. Even if he's banged up and they don't think that he can play the outfield, he sits the bench. He's coming in late innings, bat in his hand. So he will be on the postseason roster unless he breaks something. And we got a good feeling Harper's going to play. So that kind of, I still don't see a room for Robles unless Worth or Harper don't make it. So because with Goodwin out, because you got the bench is awesome. What are you going to do? Again, you're going to have Defoe. You're going to have matter of fact, right now, if Harper doesn't play, who plays right? Kendrick or Worth?
Probably Kendrick.
Okay.
I mean, so who? But let's just go through it. I mean, who are you? Which outfielders are we taking? I mean, let's go through the bench because I think there's a different decision here that we're not thinking about. I don't know. It probably does revolve around what Worth can and can't do, but there's. I just for some part of me thinks that they want to take Robles to the playoffs.
Well, look, if you take a look at the bench, all right, you got Defoe, okay?
Yeah.
And if Harper and Worth play, Kendrick's on the bench. Okay, that's 2. And then you've got Lobaton, Lind, that's 4. And is there anyone else? Drew's out. Goodwin's out.
I mean, Stevenson.
No. I would definitely, I'd be okay there with Robles over Stevenson. So yeah, I don't want to put him into the equation. Let's see. Is there anyone else? Diaza. He's a veteran, but he's not hitting.
I'm not taking him.
I'd still go with Robles.
No, wait, you're not taking Batista.
Who?
Rafael Batista.
Come on, dude.
Exactly.
I've said this before.
You're not taking him.
I don't even know what he's doing on the team. No.
He's there because they weren't sure if you clinch on a day with a game the next day, you need to have a full roster of 24-year-old guys who can play because all the veterans are going to be so hungover. Last year, that was what the best picture probably I can remember from the entire season was the day after they clinched, and Dusty gave them all the day off, and they played like the JV-est roster of all time. And those guys just looked like they were in some pain. It was amazing. And then, of course, this year they get the day off. So it was good timing. Because if you're a gambler, you always take the other team the day after a team clinches. Just a 101.
That's true. I have no objections to that move. Let's see. How many at-bats has Robles had so far? 3, 4? He's got a hit?
Yeah, he's got a hit.
Hitting a hit, and that's it? Hitting a walk or just a hit? Just a hit. Okay, and he's all right. There you go. With Goodwin out, there's definitely an opportunity because again, early in the season, we were also thinking about guys like Heisey and Rayburn, and all those guys are done. So you got Heisey out, Rayburn out, Goodwin out, so Drew out. So these are all guys out that has now opened up the door for possibility for Robles. You know what? He's going to have to hit though. I mean, he's got 2 weeks. So, I mean, he hasn't started yet, right? Has he?
I don't believe so.
I know we've been football nuts for the last week or two. We've been off the air, but I don't think he started. So
no, he's only got 4 at bats spread out across 3 games.
Yeah, so he's got to start. They got to get him. So I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe they just want to get his feet wet with some pinch hits, but they got to get him in there and see if he could play at more at bats and feel comfortable. Because right now, if not, they probably, they probably go with Diaz. I would think because he's a veteran.
That's so depressing.
But again, that's if Robles doesn't hit. So he's got to earn it. You can't just throw in the kid. He's like 19, right? You can't just throw him in there. So yeah. So hopefully he hits. If he hits, I see no reason. I have no objections to him being in the postseason roster. And maybe he could be. I don't know what kind of stolen bases he has down in the minors, but he should have some speed. So yeah, there's a shot. It's something to keep an eye on. Michael Taylor.
I'm not leaving him on the bench to be the last guy out like Defoe was last year. I'm using him early, pitch, hitting him for a pitcher.
Well, let me ask you, who would you hit though first? I mean, who would you hit first and leave on the bench last, Defoe or Robles?
Oh, I would leave Defoe on the bench last over. I'm not leaving any 20-year-old kid from Double A to take the last out against the Dodgers. At least Defoe has experience.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Sure, I'm okay with that.
It's a terrible feeling in my stomach, but that's why if I'm Dusty Baker, I'm getting Robles in and out of the game by like the 7th inning at the latest.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. Even though, of course, we'd rather have Lobaton as the last guy at bat, actually.
Probably so. That would also be soul crushingly depressing, but
and predictable.
And predictable.
Maybe Reed can get some more at bats, just like Robles. Get Reed and Severino some more at bats. Maybe Lobaton will pull a hamstring or something like that.
People have been sleeping on Rowdy.
Well, we've talked about him as they're deep at catcher. I mean, they don't. Look, it's hard for us to judge guys in the minors, but I guess they just don't like what's his name? I guess they don't like
Kieboom? Severino?
Carter, Spencer Kieboom. They must not like him. And where's Wander Suero? Look, I haven't looked down in the minor leagues this week, but some of these guys that are down there, you know how they are. Sometimes it's important for them. They want to win down in AAA at some of these teams. And maybe, I got to believe that if these guys aren't there, then they don't value them as much. Why wouldn't they be up? Why would Reed and Severino be up and not Kieboom? Unless but they like these guys better. They just do.
I don't know. I think I'm imagining. I don't know their thoughts, but I can make the case that you got a 26-year-old guy like Spencer Kieboom getting at bats, playing every single day, like these guys aren't and can't. You have no intention whatsoever of taking anybody but Wieters and Lobaton to the postseason. So why not just let them keep getting at bats and I don't know, just more experience playing. I mean, he's playing every day right now, and
what do you mean down in Syracuse?
Maybe you're trying to make a decision, and all of a sudden you're kind of deep at catcher. Maybe you're showcasing somebody. Maybe you're hoping someone comes calling for Reed or Severino, because I don't think you or I think either one of those is our number one. In a platoon.
Let's see. One guy that also should be up, and here's a guy that I have no idea why they haven't brought this guy up, is Soto. Why isn't Soto up? Soto's got 14 homers. Wait, let me see what Soto has for the season. Soto has, and he's played in the majors before, not a lot, but he's played a little bit in the majors. This season, he's got 24 home runs, 82 RBIs between AA and AAA, batting a combined .311 with a .364 on base percentage. He's 28 years old. He's obviously, with what we might possibly need with a fifth guy on the bench, he would be a likely option to give him a chance because he's got some power, and he's down at Syracuse when you can bring him up. So I don't get this. I don't understand it. Spencer Kieboom, by the way, let's see, he's cooled off a little bit, but still he's got 19 homers he's got 19 RBIs, and he has a .275 average, .335 on base. So his numbers have come down a little bit, but that's only but still, I mean, he's earned it, and they don't care. I think it's because they like these other guys. They drafted him higher. So that's how it is with draft picks. They fall in love with guys who get drafted higher.
Yeah, if I pick somebody, he's going to be great because that makes me a genius.
Okay. Not sure what that
means.
That's
the Vinny Serrato method. I think Bruce Allen might be adapting it as well.
What do you mean, the Vinny Serrato?
If I draft you, you're making the team.
Oh, you mean it doesn't matter even if you stink?
Oh yeah, it was egregious. Some of the people, it was like, wait, how did this guy make the team over that guy? Oh yeah.
Look at Suero. Suero's got a 1.79 ERA between AA and AAA. He's hold opponent batting average is .209, and he's only given up 51 hits in 65 innings, 20 out of 22 save opportunities, and he's not given a shot. They don't need to give him a shot. Why? Because
Best
we've
kept
got
secret.
Joe Blanton, and how are those? By the way, how about with the remaining time that we do have? What about our relief pitching situation? How many arms do we get again?
How many arms did we get, or
No,
are we
going to get to the postseason? What is it? 12? No, wait, 25 man.
25,
8 and 5 is 13,
guys.
12, right? Okay, so we have 12. So we'll probably have 12 guys.
Strasburg.
And we
know Gio.
We know they'll probably keep all 5 starters.
Tanner. Yep, Tanner and Edwin. They'll all 5 make it.
They'll be in the bullpen.
Sean Kelly is 6.
Okay, let me go last 30 and see if any of these bozos have done anything good. Blanton has actually pitched better over his last 8 innings.
That's okay.
Only giving up 2 runs.
I got a front row seat for him.
2 runs on 8 innings, but we only want to see him face 1 batter. A game in the postseason. Sean Kelly is terrible.
Taking Blanton in the postseason?
Dude, Sean Kelly is terrible. Sean Kelly, I don't want to see him in the postseason. He's terrible. He's been terrible all year. He hasn't done anything.
I don't have Blanton going to the playoffs.
I would take Blanton over Kelly. Dude, Kelly's doing nothing.
Well, then let's knock out the obvious ones. You have Max, Steven, Tanner, Gio, Edwin. That's 5. Take out the 3 back ones. You take Madsen, Kinsler, Doolittle. That's 8.
Albers.
Albers is 9.
Romero.
Oliver Perez is 10. Romero is 11.
So one more.
Taking Solis.
No.
Grace.
I don't think so. That's why it's going to come down to Blanton. Kelly. Yeah, Blanton or Kelly. Right now, it's got to be Blanton. Kelly cannot make the postseason roster right now. He can't. He's terrible right now. All season, what am I saying? Dude, the guy's got an 8. Dude, he has an 8 ERA. And it's getting worse.
You're taking Blanton over Solis?
Yeah, they will. Yes. Dude, I just told you, he's got a 2 ERA, and he's only given up 2 runs in his last 8 innings. If he continues to do that over the next 2 weeks, he will make the postseason roster.
But,
and we already have what?
Solis
2 or 3? We already have 3 lefties. How many lefties do you want?
As many as humanly possible.
No. They're not going to go with Grace and his inexperience and Solis and his inexperience over a veteran like Blanton when you got 3 lefties. They're not going to do it. Dude, I'm having a hard enough time believing they're going to keep Kelly off the roster. As bad as he is, knowing this team. And he's absolutely god-awful. So, Blanton... Look, and I'm only saying this as long as Blanton keeps pitching like he has the last 2 weeks. If he goes ahead and reverts back to the way he's pitched early on this season, well, then the door's open for everybody.
Yep.
Which is also a reason why I don't understand why they're not giving, guys like Suero a shot. But whatever. There's got to be reasons, I guess. Reasons that we don't understand. Because it doesn't make any sense.
Comprehension. Smarter people than us.
But anyway, we've got the 3 aces going, and they're all going to be healthy, if you can believe it. Strasburg is pitching better than he's pitched in his life. And what a coincidence that all of this has happened in this very same year when we said this in the beginning of the season, and you can listen to our on-demand shows when we talked even in April and May about the most important thing this team needed to look ahead to the postseason about was resting their guys, even if they had to make up injuries, or even hopefully if there was a little nick here and a little nick there, and you throw them on a DL and you rest their arms, and now they're doing a 6-man. They are doing everything right. I hate 6-mans, but I don't hate 6-mans now because 6-mans are perfect for what they're trying to do to rest their arms. They are doing everything right. Then you throw in the bench. Then you throw in the 3 starters who are all number 1s on a lot of teams. Then you throw in the way the bullpen is, and Doolittle hasn't blown a save. And you look at the offense, which is a monster.
The only thing, I don't have any quibbles with any of that, and I 110% agree. The only thing I would have done differently, and I don't think it's nitpicking, I wonder what I wonder what it would have taken to get Verlander. It's the difference between maybe 100 wins and 106 wins. And,
well, you saw what they gave up, Houston. I mean, Houston gave up what? 3 of their top, 15, 12 prospects? I don't, and I think, what was it? What was their best one? Like their 4th, right? I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So who's our...
So basically what that tells me is that they think Fetty's going to start for us next year, because Fetty's our 3rd overall prospect. I think Carter Kieboom. Yeah, Fetty's number 3. Robles, Soto, then Fetty, then Carter Kieboom, then Seth Romero. So, I mean, I don't know. There's 2 or 3 guys in the top 15 that I would be. I'm sorry, not be happy to lose, but would trade for what I think Verlander's going to give Houston, and probably what he's going to give him again next year.
What do you mean? Like even right now, you would want to do that?
Yeah, I would have added Verlander for the stretch run. I mean, God bless Edwin Jackson and Fetty and AJ Cole and all these guys that they're putting together. But again, I think it's nitpicking. I don't think the degree better he would have made it. I think then you're talking about like Fort Nix, just lock solid, coming down. If he would have got him with about 2 months to go in the season.
I'm with you. If at the time I would have made the deal too, for the only reason though would have been you just never know about injuries.
Yeah.
And that's why I would have made that move, because I would have been willing to give up Eric Fetty, Andrew Stevenson. Who knows? I mean, look, 2 of their top 6 prospects now are guys they just drafted, including Seth Romero. I mean, they've been getting some really good pitching performances from some of their rookies down in the minors that we'll go over in the next couple of weeks. But so there's a little bit more depth there. And you got Soto and you got Robles, and you got Carter Kieboom. So as we've said all along, the Nats have a fine prospect system. No matter what anybody says, no matter what Major League Baseball ranks, they don't know crap. They have a good farm system. They have good players coming up. They're fine. So this ridiculousness that the Nats are going to be like, that the Nats are like some, aging team that has given up all their prospects, and in 2 years they're going to be in last place. These people are just ridiculous. They don't know. They don't know nothing.
We used our system. It's the upper echelon of our system to plug MVP size holes all up and down the lineup. The Nationals, I think, led the league with players on the DL. To think that, to be able to whatever he gives you, to call these guys up and get what we got out of our prospects.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they don't even. It's like they don't count guys like Goodwin and Taylor and Defoe. It's like they don't count
Stevenson.
And
Fetty, for that matter.
Well, I'm just talking about guys that have contributed. Oh, those guys don't count. Yeah, they do count. I mean, they're young. They none of them have played a full season before. As like a major contributor until this year. So these are all young guys. These are all guys. I mean, we could win a championship with Taylor and Goodwin in the outfield if we had to. If you have to play good defense and you got starting pitching and you got other guys in the lineup that are still there, that are still going to be there, like Rendon and Harper, and even Zimmerman's not old. It's because he's been around for 50 years, but he's only 31, right? So it's not he's over the hill.
We have him signed for the next 50 years.
Yeah, so that's okay. And he plays first, so he shouldn't get hurt too much. So anyway, we're going to be fine. But yeah, I definitely would have made that deal too, just in case. But now that we're a couple of weeks away from the end of the season, 3 weeks away, whatever.
Oh, good.
It's like, you know what? If you're asking me right now what I would do, I would pass. I would keep my prospects. I'd go in with this team, because this team, top to bottom, is without doubt, on paper, the best team in baseball. It's not even close. In my mind, best team in baseball. And I am not going to blow smoke up the Nationals. You know what? I don't do that, as you know. But they're now healthy. At least right now. Now, in 2 or 3 weeks, I could change my mind. But right now, they're healthy. Everybody's healthy. They get Harper back. They're healthy. There's no weaknesses on this team now. There's no more excuses. We cannot lose in the first round. We cannot
lose in the first round. I like our goal is crystal clear: win a playoff series,
and then the World Series in the same year.
The World Series the same year would be great.
Because, look, it's not like we're last year's team. If we were last year's team, okay, let's win a series. All right, we lose. All right, at least we won a series. There is none of that this year. We are too good. Unless Harper doesn't come back. But if Harper comes back and he looks even just okay, because he doesn't have to look awesome. As long as he looks okay, we're that deep. We can still win. But if he does look awesome, then Jesus. I mean, I think the rest of the league needs to just, stand back because we're going to win a championship. And if we don't, then we're going to have some serious problems on this show in October.
I know. I'm trying to pave the way for smoothness all around. I have high expectations as well. But don't forget, a big part of this show is about the long-term viability, the fact that the window is wide open. It's not an excuse for losing when you're good enough to win. But the Nationals are going to be good for a long time.
No, they are. But yeah, when you're healthy, as long as Harper comes back, you're healthy.
Yep.
And you do have players that will be in a couple of years getting to the point where they're not going to be at their prime anymore. And the league is as wide open as it is right now. You have to win it. Anything less than winning a world championship if Harper's healthy in the postseason is going to be an extreme, major letdown. Like, I would accept, of course, losing the World Series to, like, Cleveland or something in a long series. You know what? It was fun. We didn't win a postseason game. It was great. We'll get them next year. It'll be disappointing, but hey, we lost to a great team. What are you going to do? I mean, as long as, it's the well-played games and all that, then I can see, okay, at least we got to the World Series. We'll get them next year. But anything short of that with this team, with the help of Harper, and that even includes winning a series. I'm not losing any NLCS to the Dodgers. No, not doing it. Not to a team that can't win a game in like 2 weeks. I'm not doing it. We're not going to stand for it.
I'm not standing for any part of it.
We're going to do our first show next year is going to be in October. That's how we're going to stand for it.
We'll see you in October.
So, we'll do a show on opening day, and then we'll say we'll see you in October. And don't think I'm kidding.
We're a postseason contender, a World Series, legitimate World Series contender. We have every right to put our team there and believe fully that it can beat any comers.
Dude, it's like when you have when you have a good team. Yeah. You just know it, and we know it. And we haven't said I haven't said this before. We really haven't talked about having like this immense confidence because most of the time there have been issues, injuries, this or that, bad coaching, whatever. But no excuses right now, none. I would blame you and anybody listening in the DC area if they don't meet their expectations. I blame the DC area. Because
we have been responsible for a lot of suffering,
a lot of choking, not suffering, choking. Even the choking word has probably been used more in Washington, D.C. over the past 10 years than any other city in the country.
No way. That is categorically false.
Oh, really? Can you name another city that's had chances to win championships and go far in postseason in all of them?
In all the sports?
Yeah. Basketball, John Wall gets hurt just when it looks like they're actually going to contend for an Eastern title. He gets hurt. We don't even need to go over the President's trophies with the hockey team. The football team can't beat the Giants when they don't care about playing last year in the last game of the regular season.
Yeah, but you're talking about the sports town. I'm telling you right now, within the last 5 years, New York had 0 playoff teams. 0.
No, I said choking.
I know.
You don't choke when you stink.
Choke jobs that missing the playoffs.
Who?
Choke jobs.
Yeah, who? Which teams have choked in New York?
Either the Yankees or the Mets or both.
Dude, the Yankees have won 1 million championships. They can deserve. They
you're
could
talking
choke.
about force counts now.
Yeah. What about
Washington? No, I know, and I'm telling
the Mets?
you
Don't the Mets don't choke? The Mets have gotten injured. That's not choking.
You said you claimed John Wall.
Well, I'm throwing it in there as like icing on the cake. So and besides, that happened in the postseason. It's not like the Mets went to the postseason with
Rangers,
who?
Knicks, Giants, Jets.
Dude, the Jets stink.
I'm saying, they had Rex there a couple of years.
They didn't choke.
Came out of that place.
They didn't choke. Dude, they had Mark Sanchez at quarterback.
2 years in a row.
Dude, they had Mark Sanchez at quarterback.
With Rex.
Yeah, who'd they lose to? They lost to Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger, the championship. How do you choke when you have Mark Sanchez? They shouldn't have even gone that far. I'm talking about President's trophies, and you can't even get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Especially and the Nationals. Those are the two main ones. I mean, I could even I can get away from everything else and just go with hockey and baseball in DC. And no two teams so far have had as good as those two teams have been in the regular season for the past 3 or 4 years. No, you're gonna have to go ahead, find another city.
I'll give you. Right away. Immediately comes to mind.
Go ahead.
Golden State wins the most wins in the league. They lose in the finals to
Dude,
Cavaliers.
They've won
the
2
Raiders
championships.
Hold on, and Oakland.
What do you mean? Hold on.
In a season, the Oakland Raiders.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
choking bad luck choke job
and not winning. You can. Dude, I don't care.
Didn't the Warriors win the regular season the year that they didn't?
All right, let me ask you a question. If you're a Golden State fan, okay, seriously, do you care?
That do I care that they lost to Cleveland?
Yeah, do you care that they've won
Finals?
2 NBA championships and the one that they lost, they had this great record. Does that really bother you?
It bothers me less.
It bothers you a lot less.
Because there is a title, but
2 titles.
And you lost to LeBron.
Not 1, 2.
You should have won.
2 titles. What?
It makes it easier.
Yes.
It definitely makes it easier.
Well, I'll tell you what. You think about it because I know
we got Super Bowls here in town.
Yeah, dude, that was 40 years ago. I mean, come on.
I watched all 3 of those in my lifetime. I have it. Every
like I said, I didn't say 40 years ago. I said in the last 3 or 4 years. That's all I'm saying. Just go back 3 or 4 years and pick a city that has had 2 teams in any of the sports that have choked more than the Nationals and the Capitals. see if you can find it. I'll even give you the week. Tell me next week. See what you come up with.
I'll come up with something.
And maybe you'll be right. I have no idea because I don't even think that's possible to come up with any 2 teams that have choked that much. But maybe you can do it. And by the way, since we've also been with in the last minute here, we also have been on and off the air, and so is Game of Thrones until 2019.
2019, I think, is the next time we're seeing that show.
Yeah, even though they're actually going to be filming starting next month. You got to love that, right? They're going to be done filming in like 3 months. And we got to wait like 16 months to watch 6 shows. And did you hear the reason why?
I didn't think those guys. What's the reason?
The reason why is because instead of like doing it again in the normal part of the year, like around now or whatever it would be, August, they'd rather wait 4 or 5 months so they can actually so they have a better chance at Emmy Awards in their final season.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
They deserve.
Not good for us.
No, terrible.
Because we don't care about Emmy Awards.
Many Game of Thrones shows. There's gonna be so many Game of Thrones shows in the next rest of our lives. So I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm already into the 4th episode of the 4th season already. I started watching as soon as I watched the last episode 2 weeks ago.
Oh man, it'll be here soon enough.
So you see, I mean, I'm already going to be done though in about a month. And then I'm going to be like, okay, I'm already done watching my Games of Thrones. And I got a whole year to go. Year and a half. All right, man. So next week, you come up with those 2 teams. What do you got on the show tonight?
We got Redskins after the whistle. We have the Hot Box. We're going to kick off basketball, talk some Wizards. And then we got our DC mess around. We're going to talk Nats.
All right, man. and that's over at First Amendment Sports. Correct?
Yes, sir. First Amendment Sports. You can find us on iTunes, find us on SoundCloud. Check Redskin stuff out over at hogshaven.com.
All right, man. So another week. Hopefully everybody's healthy. Maybe we'll get an update on Harper. And
he's not coming. He's
what?
chilling. He's going to be chillaxing until game 1.
Well, I mean, we're going to hear something probably at some point about something. Yeah. I mean, I doubt that they're going to keep this all secretive. Maybe they will. It'd be nice if they did. If they screwed the media, and nobody everybody's looking for Harper, and when he's in when media comes into the clubhouse, he's got crutches on or something, and then as soon as they leave, he's skipping down the clubhouse. We're gonna fool these guys. I'd be okay with that. And then the lineup card comes out, and you see Bryce Harper running out on the field, game 1. All right.
And then he goes deep.
Yeah, well, that'll happen. Okay, so enjoy your show. Have a good one. And we will talk again next Tuesday. It looks like we should have we're back on a regular schedule, and then we'll be doing shows every day for about, 3 weeks? That's how long it takes to win a World Series?
Correct.
3 weeks. So we'll be on the air just about every day for 3 weeks. Wow, it's a lot of shows. But it won't be hours. I mean, it'll be, probably 20, 30 minutes per show. But, hey, it'll be worth it, especially since we're going to go all the way to the World Series this year.
It's going to be exciting.
Thanks, Ken. I'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, Greg. Thanks, man.
You got it. Take care. All right, that's Ken Marangolo. And that's it for Nat Scraps. So, good to be back. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're back. So, and again, we'll let you know that schedule for sure as soon as we know exactly who we're playing and all that. We probably won't do a show every day, but you get the drift. We'll make sure we're doing shows after every game, and on the days off. If we don't have to prepare for another game and we've already done a recap show, then we won't have that other show. So, but sort of because we talked about doing post-game shows. Remember that, and we will do post-game shows. So not every day, but we will do them when they're going to clinch a series, which hopefully they'll have 3 of them. So hopefully we'll have 3 post-game shows the night that they clinch each playoff series, including, of course, the World Series, which we might be drunk with happiness. For Ken Marangolo and Greg DePalma, thanks for tuning in to Nat Scraps. We'll see you next Tuesday.